Welcome back to 843 TV. We're now joined by Daniella Augenstein Squicquero, who's the Director of Business Development for the Bluffton Chamber of Commerce. Daniella, thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Happy New Year to you.
You as well, and all of you. Great start to the year so far, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about last year. 2015 was a landmark year for the Bluffton Chamber of Commerce. What made it so special?
Well, 2015 saw a lot of different changes in the chamber, myself being one of them, so I tend to be excited about that, but I might be a little bit biased. You know, we had a lot of firsts. We had our first Miss Bluffton organization committee. We didn't have a Miss Bluffton until this year, of course, Brittany Wilson, but we did have our Miss Bluffton teen, and that was Hannah Joy Brown, and she just did a phenomenal job. And then this year, again, now we have Barbara Federico, who is our Miss Bluffton teen for this year, and we're very excited to send both of those gals and Miss Bluffton preteen to state. They can use all the help they can get, by the way. But you know, a lot of things. We had the Bluffton Business Awards for 2015, technically held in the beginning of January.
That's right. Is that the Golden Oysters?
That's the Golden Oysters, and we are looking forward to making that an event that the entire community looks forward to over the course of the year.
Absolutely.
So a lot happened, and it was just a sort of a landmark, as you said, and a milestone year for the Chamber, really.
It's a very busy year.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of new businesses in Bluffton.
That's right.
Yeah. And a lot of new businesses in the Bluffton Chamber.
And continuing, that's right.
That's right. That's excellent. It's good. It's good news about the local economy.
Well, we're very glad about it.
Well, the Bluffton home is like, the Bluffton Chamber is like a second home to me because I used to work there. I was the marketing director back in 2011, 2012, and I loved it so much. And what they did for the community was huge. And I know their members really feel like that's a second home to them. They become a family. Why do you think that is? Well,
and I think that you touched on part of that. It really is kind of a homey feel. You know, we always talk about being a grassroots chamber, and I don't think that people realize quite how big we are at this point and growing. But we really try to maintain that community feel, that home feel. You know, when you walk in our door, we may have hundreds of members, but we know who you are. And we care about what's going on, and the entire point of being a part of the Bluffton Chamber is to get assistance, specific personalized assistance for your business. And that's the reason that we do everything we do, and I think that people recognize and appreciate that.
I agree. It's a great thing to be a part of if you want to get your business noticed and be a part, networking with other businesses that have the same goals as the chamber members.
And that is a huge part of it.
Huge. It's a wonderful place. I love it.
Well, thank you. So do I, and I hope that's true.
And now that we're moving into 2016, what can we expect to see?
Well, I can't divulge everything yet, but I'm excited to do so maybe by next time. But there are a couple of things that we are looking forward to. I've mentioned in the past the Young Professionals Network that's sort of moving forward now. And we're getting ready to get back on board with that. And that's very exciting. I think that's going to be a big change for this year. Let's see, what else? So we have a couple of events coming up, which I think we're going to talk about in a minute. But just sort of moving forward in the direction that we've been touching on the last question, which is sort of maintaining that feeling while continuing to grow, because the bigger we get, the stronger we get. And what that means is being a stronger resource for our members. We have more weight in the community. We are able to advocate more heavily on behalf of our members, and again, that's the point.
That is the point.
Well, now that we've survived the holidays and the new year, I think everybody's excited to look into 2016. So what is coming up next? Because we're into festival season again.
That is exactly right. So Taste of Bluffton is coming up in April. Very excited about that. That gets bigger every year. So if you have never been to Taste of Bluffton, you absolutely must come out. We had over 200 vendors last year, which is just crazy.
There were a ton of people
there. There were a ton of people.
And it's a fun event for the whole family.
Yes.
That's the kicker.
Exactly. There is something for everyone. So that's the next really big event that's coming up. Of course, we're still prepping the girls for state, and they are going to be seeking sponsorships and all of that coming up. But the next big thing, actually, which is not specifically for the Chamber, but I think it's worth talking about, because there's a lot of overlapping involvement, is the Bluffton Oyster Roast. So that's actually on the 30th, and that is the Bluffton Rotary of which I am and many of our members and directors are also a part.
Which is another huge event.
Yes, it is. You can, just to plug it, you can get tickets for $5 less than you will pay at the door. And for the first time this year, they are actually at risk of selling out. So you may want to get those tickets. I have some. But you can go onto the website or like the Facebook page, and you will be able to find, there are businesses throughout the community that are considered outlets, and they will have tickets. So you could just stop by, or you can call the Rotary and they can take your card. The one other event that I might want to make sure that I highlight is, of course, we always have our monthly after hours event, and that is going to be coming up on the last Wednesday of the month. Final hump day, as I always say, great way to keep it in mind and remind yourself, but that one's going to be at El Mariachi, which is a great Mexican place in Kitty's Crossing in Bluffton. So we'll be there on the last Wednesday of this month.
All right. And then last but not least, even though we're still in the first month of the new year, if there's anybody interested in joining the chamber, well, how do they need to go about that, and who do they need to contact?
Well, you know, the only reason that we even make it relevant that it is still January, because we take memberships on a rolling basis. So if you joined in March, your renewal will be in March next year. Right. But because January is the start of the year, that makes it easy for people to do a lot of their bookkeeping. So we like to get people in at the beginning of the year, and that way they can take advantage of all the events that are coming up throughout the entirety of 2016.
For the whole year.
Exactly. So that makes it a little bit easier. What you can do is call the chamber, that's 843-757-1010, or email at info@blufftonchamberofcommerce.org, and we will take care of you.
And all the schedule of events and everything we just discussed are on the website.
That's right.
So it's no excuses.
That's right. blufftonchamberofcommerce.org, and on the left-hand side you will see a regularly updated ticker of all of our events that are coming up.
Very cool. Daniella, thank you very much for sharing all of this information.
Thank you.
What's going on in the Bluffton Chamber. Check out their website for their upcoming events, the Oyster Roast, the After Hours, membership information, and resources for existing members. Thanks again. And stick around for one more segment of 843 TV.